A lot of people.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We are going to be, just a heads up, we're going to be recording this event to put on the Lehigh Glow YouTube channel. So if I could ask you all to make sure that you're muted when you're not speaking, and if you'd like, I recommend putting it into speaker mode so that you can see all of our wonderful guest speakers. So thanks so much for joining us this evening. My name is Jess Joseph, and I'm the Graduate Student Senate President. The Graduate Student Senate started this event 4 years ago in order to recognize and thank you, our mentors, for your outstanding contribution to our success. Further, we hope that by recognizing our outstanding mentors and advisors, we can encourage a culture of excellent mentorship throughout all of Lehigh. Our first year, we received nominations for 44 mentors. This year, we received 131 student nominations for 93 unique mentors. I really think this speaks to the amazing support mentors have been providing their students during this difficult semester. Across all colleges and disciplines, consistent, effective, and excellent mentorship is a key ingredient for graduate students to succeed, both personally and professionally. I want to talk for a quick moment about what it means to be a great mentor. By definition, a mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor, someone who teaches and guides a less experienced colleague on the right path through graduate school. But a great mentor is more than that. And this was illustrated by our graduate students. When we asked for nominations, we also asked grad students to explain why they nominated each of their mentors for an appreciation award. At the end of this program, we will share with you our mentorship wall, a website where each nominated mentor is recognized, given a space to comment on what mentorship means to them, along with the comments from their nominators that their nominators shared. To give you a quick preview, I selected a few quotes that I felt really resonated with the overall sentiment expressed throughout the many nominations. I am grateful for his being so thoughtful, understanding, responsive, and supportive. Bethlehem is cold, but our group is always warm. Being a PhD is stressful, but working with him is always enjoyable. She taught me to not be afraid of taking risks, asking questions, failing, and starting over. She always supports her students and helps them to stay mentally and emotionally healthy. She encouraged me to dream bigger, helped me find faith in myself, and realize that I have the energy, enthusiasm, and perseverance I never knew I had. From the day I decided to apply for the program, she has been 100% encouraging. She is knowledgeable and both optimistic and realistic in her advice. During the uncertainty of COVID-19, she continues to be available, whether it's for academic matters, career help, or just to listen to my feelings when things are tough. Her mentorship has been invaluable during my time at Lehigh. My mentor skillfully emphasizes strengths while simultaneously and in good spirits challenges weakness and opportunities for development. I always come away confident, but also with an action list of areas to consider. My relationship with my mentor has made me feel seen, heard, and cared for, and she should be recognized and celebrated for that. And that's the beauty of this event. We, the graduate students, get the wonderful opportunity to recognize, celebrate, and thank you, all of the wonderful mentors in our lives. So I'd like now to introduce Katia Hilton-Fraser, the Graduate Student Senate Vice President, for a few words.
Thank you so much, Jess, and good evening to everyone. It is my honor to speak on behalf of mentees this evening. Paulo Freire once said, education either functions as an instrument which is used to facilitate integration into the logic of the present system and bring about conformity, or it becomes a practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of their world. Imposter syndrome, sleepless nights, passive voice laden essays, nervous energy, unending questions, feeling overwhelmed, lacking confidence, work-life balance, feeling invisible, research novices, and I could continue. These are some of the common sentiments shared by grad students, though we are in different programs at different stages of our graduate experience and hail from diverse backgrounds. We share the common thread of what it means to be grad students. I would hasten to say that there is nobody else who can sufficiently understand what that really means unless they themselves have walked that path. Additionally, as we're gathered here this evening, we share another commonality. We have had great mentors who have skillfully balanced their ethic of care with that push to guide us to become better than we were at the start of our programs. The exposure to different opportunities, personal or professional, which continue to contribute to the successes we have been able to reap thus far. The mentors who are present here today and who have been nominated understand and have put into action these famous words by Freire. Through their guidance and support, as graduate students, we have become co-constructors in our own education, and through that process are able to more confidently transition into our roles to transform our individual and collective spaces. Words may never suffice, but nevertheless, we say thank you.
Thank you so much, Katia. Next up, I would like to invite Kathy Iovine, the chair of the Faculty Senate, to say a few words.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for the invitation to participate in this event. It's really a great event where grad students and mentors get to come together and kind of celebrate their excellent relationship. So I was asked to speak about mentoring from the faculty perspective. And so I've had the privilege of working with 6 students towards their PhDs. And I have their dissertation defense announcements on display in my office, kind of right next to me. And so I spent some time kind of reflecting on each graduate as I thought about what I would say to all of you today. So of course, each experience was different. These students graduated from a span of 2008 to 2020. My last one was just September 30th. Or my most recent one, not my last one. And certainly I've changed as a mentor over time, but really the differences in each mentor-mentee relationship is more a reflection of how each student is unique, right? So each brings their own strengths, their own drive, their own skills, their own insecurities, their own ideas, and their own challenges. And the job of the mentor is to learn how to best motivate students so they can reach their highest potential. So one important goal of a mentor is to help students to recognize their strengths, so that students can gain the confidence that they need in order to become independent thinkers and researchers. And one thing that I think is generally true of students is that they tend to overlook the skills that they have. So they tend not to really see the skills that they have and not to realize how important that those are. So in order for them to excel and progress in their programs, they need to be able to see what they're really good at. It's also important to help students to recognize areas where they need to improve, and more so to give them opportunities to gain more experience in those areas so they can be better prepared for what comes next. And the ultimate goal of the mentor is to step back, right, and allow students to become the expert. And being part of that transition in helping students to grow professionally and to increase their knowledge and to improve their skills, I think is the most rewarding aspect of being a faculty mentor to me. So I'll end there.
Thanks so much, Kathy. Next up, I'll hand it over to President John Simon to say a few words. Thanks for being with us, President Simon.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. It's a privilege to be here, actually, to salute our mentors. And I want to thank all of our faculty and staff mentors for the important part you play in the success of our graduate students. I've actually graduated about 20 PhD students in my life, and in echoing Kathy, I would say they taught me how to mentor. I mean, I remember my first student, I would say that was pretty equal ground. I had no idea what it meant to mentor. So I started thinking a lot about what if you had to write an official job description for a mentor? And I think we all started at the same place. We viewed ourselves as intellectual partners. I mean, I think our role is to set the tone for how you go about mastering a discipline, how you think creatively, how you develop expertise. But as I experienced more and more students, I saw the power of the soft skills, if you will, and the other ways in which mentoring is done that are really important. It's important to be a conversationalist. I think you need to make yourself available to talk, keep in touch. Sometimes the most informal get-togethers are the most helpful to students, like chatting, over coffee. And tied to this conversationalist, I'm never going to forget having my first millennial graduate student who came into my office one day and asked me if we were going to have a 6-month review about how her research was going. And I said, well, we can do that if you want. I'd be happy to do that. And she said, good, because I want to tell you how you're doing as my advisor. And so I would say, over time, the role of the mentor-mentee relationship also evolves as the different generations come into our academy. I think you're a demystifier, if I can call it that. You have to help students navigate programs. We're great at bureaucracy, right? And there are all these rules and stuff, and they do rely on us to help them through a lot of this. I think we're all encouragers. There are rough spots that graduate students hit along their research path, and we have to show them how to learn from these missteps and how to move on. And we have to promote them. We help them seek fellowships. We help them seek recognition. We should send them to meetings in their scholarly fields and building networks, right? Their network is our network, right? And there's a lot of partnership there. And I know that the mentors here at Lehigh do all of this and more, and your relationships with students are just what put them on the path to success. I thought I would actually end from, I've been able to succeed in my scholarly fields because of mentorship. And I sort of thought back to some of the early experiences I had, and I was thinking of graduate school. And the technology that was in my graduate laboratory was was sort of in constant need of care and feeding. And I remember many, many days, this isn't revisionist history, but I remember many, many days of aligning optics to see my first signal around 10 p.m. And then it was an endurance test, right? I mean, how long could you go about sleep with when technology is working and collecting data? And I was working for an assistant professor at the time, and I didn't recognize it until it happened several times. But on those days, he would show up around 7 a.m. the next morning and walk in the lab and see what was going on and say, we should go have breakfast. And so we'd walk across the street to the science center and sit down and have breakfast and talk about, what did you see last night? What do you think we should do next? Where do you think this should go? And it was actually those interactions that established my work ethic, my motivation, how I thought about things. And so I was being mentored and didn't even realize I was being mentored, right? Because I was being mentored in sort of the personal sense of being cared about for what the technology demanded as far as the time that needed to be put in. And so I think there's a lot of what we do is isn't so obvious, but it goes well beyond just setting the tone for what it means to be a master of a subject and have expertise. So once again, I really want to thank all of our mentors. You make a huge difference in the lives of our graduates, student population, and you're what make research really happen at Lehigh. And so now I'll pass the figurative mic here to Beth Dolan. So Beth.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to see all your faces on the little screen. It makes me happy. Would rather be having a drink with you, but still, it's lovely to see your faces. I want to start out by thanking the Graduate Student Senate for hosting this important annual event. I'm really moved and inspired by the comments that the graduate student nominators made about their mentors, some of which Jess shared, and the rest of which we can all see on the mentor wall when I finish talking. To the faculty and staff honored this afternoon, your work is essential to graduate student success and to the community of care that we all enjoy. And to the graduate students, as a faculty member who has received this recognition, I mean, I don't mean to brag, but I imagine that your mentor, like me, treasures your kind words and even more the relationship you've built together. So as the comments preceding mine demonstrate, all of us here know how important good mentorship is. But just in case we want to have what we know confirmed by an authoritative body, I want to take a few minutes to share what the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine say about advising and mentorship in their 2018 report, Graduate STEM Education for the 21st Century. Although the report focuses on STEM education, the research and recommendations on advising and mentoring really do apply to all fields. So the report references advice to new graduate students captured by the NIH Office of Intramural Training and Education, which asserts that, quote, the best mentors are advisors, coaches, counselors, and supporters all at the same time. They're experienced scholars who guide graduate students, but also challenge them to develop their independence. A good mentor helps students define their research goals and then supports them in their quest to achieve those goals. The National Academies reports that surveyed graduate students identify 7 key attributes that excellent mentors share. They challenge and stimulate their students' thinking. Second, they are helpful and encouraging. Third, they are enthusiastic about the student's research. Fourth, they contribute to the student's professional development. Fifth, they are approachable and generous with their time. Sixth, they offer appropriate amounts of freedom and direction. And last, they provide regular and constructive feedback on both research and academic progress. The report acknowledges that it might be unusual to find a single individual or advisor who has all these attributes. So they recommend that graduate students seek out more than one mentor. It might be a relief to all the faculty and staff here. The report also identifies challenges in mentoring relationships, and we all know that there are challenges in these relationships. So graduate students participating in focus groups organized by Research Triangle International observed, quote, how much their graduate school experience depended on their supervising faculty advisor and their relationship with him or her. Participants noted challenges they faced when their educational and career goals differed from those of their advisor. Many of these students did not feel comfortable pursuing courses, workshops, or other professional development opportunities outside of the focus of the advisor's research for fear of putting the relationship at risk. The stigma, whether real or perceived, associated with the students pursuing a non-academic career also needs to be addressed. So these are things that, you guys may have run into, or certainly you've heard friends talk about these challenges. And I think they're things that we want to work on, institutionally. So ultimately, the report makes two broad recommendations. And these are really recommendations for the institution, and I take them very seriously. First is, quote, advancement procedures for faculty, including promotion and tenure policies and practices, should be restructured to strengthen recognition of contributions to graduate mentoring and education. And second, quote, to improve the quality and effectiveness of faculty teaching and mentoring, institutions of higher education should provide training for new faculty and should offer regular refresher courses in teaching and mentoring for established faculty. So the Deputy Provost for Faculty Affairs, Jackie Crassus, is collaborating with Kathleen and me to help Lehigh reach these institutional goals. As we work to create a more systematic approach to fostering the kind of excellent mentoring we are celebrating this afternoon, we will be consulting with you all, both mentors and mentees, as our in-house experts. So thank you for all your care for one another and your care for the advancement of knowledge as well. I think next we're going to turn to the mentor wall created by the Graduate Student Senate e-board with support from Kathleen Hutnick and LTS. I cannot wait to see it.
Thanks so much, Beth. I really love that those are institutional goals for us and that you're working so hard to meet them. So I'm going to share with you guys the link to the mentor wall in the chat. And I will also share my screen just to show you. So together with work from LTS and e-board members, as well as graduate assistant Amy and Kathleen, we've put together this mentorship wall that recognizes all of the mentors who were nominated. And so on the main page, when you click on Mentorship Appreciation Wall, you can see all of the mentors who were nominated. We also can look at them by college, or there's also some staff who have been nominated. So we have multicultural affairs, international affairs, etc. And it's really amazing to see all these wonderful faces. There's so many of you who are working so hard for graduate students. So to top off the night, I just wanted to give a toast to our mentors. Hopefully you all brought a little drink along with you. Typically this is a cocktail party, but we can't do that. So this year we have a little virtual, so a toast to our mentors. Thank you for your unwavering support.
And if I could just add, on the wall, if you click on the, is it the picture or the name, Jess? You'll see the comments.
On the picture. And you can see the various comments from the nominators, who they were nominated by, and the mentors' comments on their thoughts of being a mentor. And that includes our programming for the evening. Thanks all so much for everything you do and for joining us this evening.